Okay, I'm going to take down some information on my Mordax 30 caliber. I've been hunting with it quite a bit and having fun, and it's a nice little rifle. And I had a few people ask me questions, particulars and such, shot count and that sort of thing. And I don't know. I just filled it up and trusted my buddy Jeremy at HPP had it set up and went hunting with it. So I'm going to do some research and take down some notes, starting with Western Mordax Venom, Longstrike in 30 caliber. That's a mouthful. And I'm shooting JTS dead centers. And right there. And these are the mags. I did get extra mag, and they are expensive, but what I like about these mags is they are removable. So you can pull it out of the rifle. There's a cover, this magnet on the top, and then you just drop the pellets in. Like that, and then put the cover back on. I guess easier said than done. There you go. Nothing goes faster when you're taking video. So that's the mag. They do drop in kind of funny. You got to give it a little counterclockwise turn, and I might do a video of that too, but make sure it's lined up, and then the pin will slide through and you're ready to go. So that's the magazine. And I am just recording on my phone, so this is not going to be a perfect video. I use CapCut to edit it, so I'll try to make it as nice to watch as I can, but bear with me here. I'm not a monetized paid YouTuber or videoer. I just do this for the fun of it. So that is the direction it goes in this way. You can see how it fits there. Set it in there, get a little bit of a counterclockwise turn. And I think I got it. Maybe not quite yet. I did have it. Okay, so like that. And then this switch here, push over and up, and it's installed. It does have to be in just right, and it's not like a quick drop in the dark, easy thing to do. But once it's in, you got a pretty good amount of shots. And that's another question I've been asked that I don't know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If I counted that right, it's a 13 shot magazine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a 12 shot magazine. That didn't count right. Public education. So it'll be double check again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, 12. All right, so that's this set. Putting the magazine in. So once the magazine is in, there is no bolt probe anywhere. You basically just turn it on to semi-auto, or turn on off safe, semi-auto or full auto, and it's ready to fire. I've only shot it a few times on full auto. I don't really see a practical purpose for that, other than if you're just having fun. A lot of people call it the fun switch. I don't. It's cool, but I never use that. It would be just fine if it was just semi-auto. So, but it does have that function, which leaves us airgun hunters in a gray area. You can't hunt with a fully automatic firearm. It's not a firearm, but it is definitely a gray area. So, at your own risk. Mostly I'm on my own private property doing pest removal. Shooting one time, and every once in a while it's nice to have a quick follow-up shot. So the semi-auto is nice. What attracted me to the rifle is just its size and the weight. I did have to do a little bit of revamping to get the scope configuration and make it mount upright for eye relief, but I'm shooting a Zulus, and they're the V2, and I have several of these scopes, but this new V2 3x12 I like. So, and I like all of them, but they made a couple of changes that I wish they wouldn't have. But one of them is now it's much like a regular scope. with your zoom from 3 to 12. So you have a switch, which probably looks good on paper, but honestly, the little dial on top, when you have it, ready to shoot, and you have your hand doing your scope adjustments, it was really easy just to do that little dial to zoom if you wanted. Now you got to get a hold of the scope, and it's a lot more movement. So I don't think that was an upgrade personally, but I mean, the scope still functions great. I like that you don't have to physically take it on and off Bluetooth. Once it's on, it kind of stays on. So I can shoot a squirrel and then download the footage without doing a whole lot and pretty quick, and then just hit the power button, put it on standby and off standby, and I can see the screen again. And I'm sure there's a correct way to do that if I were to read the manual, but a lot of this was just trial and error. I'll get more into scope features later, but we're just covering the rifle right now. I'm not sure how long I want to make this video, but so I did put a moderator on it, and this is a Koya Donnie FL, which makes it a little bit longer, but not too bad. I did have to take the buttstock off, and just to give me a little bit shorter length of pull. The problem, one of the design flaws of this rifle is the way the pick rail on the top is. So you can see how this is curved down and then goes up. Well, that makes that section of the pick rail impossible to use. So the scope has to be mounted ahead of that. And you can't come behind that because of this sight, where this was where, if this gun was shot as a pistol, it had a rear sight. Well, this is also an unusable portion. So if that had been pick rail all the way to the back, I could have slid this, the scope back further and had a perfect line of sight, and it would have been great, but it's not. So I had to improvise. So I moved it forward. It's back as far as I can go on that rail and have it mounted correctly. There's no way to shorten up this arm, to my knowledge. Which maybe there is, but to my knowledge. So what I did is I took the rubber piece off. That gave me enough so I can actually shoulder it and look down. The gun doesn't recoil, so sometimes I'm actually sliding it up, and just to get my eye in the right spot. But that was one of the kind of design flaws of this rifle. But if you're using a regular glass scope with a two-piece mounting system, you can work your way around that, no problem at all. And I was able to work around it with this DNT. So that's the next segment of the video. I have bloopers. They're all one take. So the gauges on this rifle. There's that gauge right there. That's where the regulator is set. That's a factory setting. From best I can tell, that's 170 bar. This gauge right here is the fill pressure. Again, I use a JTS compressor. I have it set at 300 bar. And it looks like it went just a little bit over, but I fill it the same every time. And we're going to see what this does off a full charge. Okay, today I'm shooting out of my shop. I got a one-car shop here that I do my work out of on days I work. Yeah, I know, I should work more. And so I ranged the target I have out here at 37 yards. And I'm going to put this about 2 yards in front of it, and that's going to be good enough. I zero my rifles at 35 yards. So that black target there is 37. I'm putting this here. And I just put some Temu stickers on there. They're not the greatest targets. They got a little bit of shine through digital scopes. They're not the greatest. It's kind of a big bullseye, but I'll make it work. I'm shooting off a sandbag out the window. I'm gonna put a brick in here just so it don't blow away on me. Shooting out of a sandbag out the window without a rear rest, and this is just to give you an idea of what this rifle is capable of in my hands. So I know there's a lot of shooters out there a lot better than me. You know, I'm not the worst shooter, but in a hunting situation, I don't have a rear bag either. So, and a lot of times I don't have a front rest either. So I use my knees a lot. And if I'm sitting, get my elbows on my knees and get a rest like the field target shooters do. And that's very effective. And sometimes I use a shooting stick or lean on a tree or whatever. But seldom do I have a perfect rest. And so this is kind of real world testing. I see a lot of guys out there making videos and they're taking time to set up, you know, tripods and stuff like that and cameras. And, you know, I wish I had access to their hunting property, because where I hunt, you're not getting away with that shit. It ain't happening. You see it, you take the shot, or you're not getting the shot. So, and I have hunted some great areas, and this isn't one of them. So if I go out and get one squirrel like I did this morning, that's a good day. So anyway, I'm going to turn this camera around. Actually, I'm not going to turn it around. I'm new to this stuff. I might put the camera on me and then I'm going to record through the Zulu scope, and you'll have an idea of how this test is being done. So I think we have a 12-shot mag. I think I'm going to put 6-shot groups in each bullseye. I got 4 bullseyes down there, and see where we're at after the first mag as far as pressure left, and then after the second mag. The best that I can remember, I get 2 mags out of this gun, and it's right there. I think the last shot or 2 I might be off the regulator, but they're usable. But we're going to check and see what it does. I think, anyway, we'll see. So I got you mounted in a vise. My phone mounted in a vise. That's kind of gutsy. And it's not a great angle, but I'm not sure that I'm going to use this. Anyway, here we go with our shots. Take my scope, off the standby. Ready to target. And it's 36 yards, so I'm just going to hinge a little bit. Bring the magnification all the way up. About safety. Count up 6 shots. Give it 6 shots. We come down to 270 bar. And I didn't start the video. First 6 shots are not on video. Next 6 shots will be. And we kind of will see, my hold isn't the steadiest, but there's the other 6 shots, so it should be 1 mag. Put another mag in. Okay. Oh. And this will be 300, 270. This time we're down to 200. So here's our third 6-shot string. And that brought our fill pressure down to 220. Right. And yeah, that's right. And the fill pressure, actually on this side there's like 150, so I don't want to take that 170 before. So our regular is at 150, so we still got some more shots. Here goes the second half of the second mag. And off there, that brought our fill pressure down to 200. Okay, so we have probably another mag to go, it looks like. I'm going to fill another mag, and I'll go down and take a picture and video of the target, put up a couple new targets, and we'll see. So 2 full mags for sure. Just a mag fill. And these are the JTS dead centers. Take the faceplate off and drop them in. So when I started researching these Western Airguns, I was obviously pretty interested in them. They're getting really good reviews and stuff. And they're a little expensive, and I was looking at the weight of them and wondering, you know, what are they going to be like carrying through the woods? And the Rattler was what I was looking at. Then I met who has become a very good friend of mine, Jeremy Pepin, who at the time was new to air rifles but just happened to have a Rattler. And I shot his, and man, the gun balances well, and for as heavy as it is, it doesn't feel as heavy because of how it's balanced. It gets great power in 30 caliber. I want to say he had it set up at the time doing like 150 foot-pounds. And I was spanking a target at 75 yards, a spinner, and it was just easy. So I was kind of hooked and liked the looks of the Western rifles. The downside to that one is that you have to spin the mag and fill it while it's in the gun, which isn't really a deal breaker, but it sure is a lot nicer to take it out, fill it, and put it back in. Especially for us old guys that have to put on glasses every time we do shit like this. Anyway, the mag's filled. Let's Just put the cover back on. And put it back in the gun. I am going to load both magazines, but I don't think I'll get through both of them. I brought my stickers out. This was just a Temu find. I can't remember what I paid for them. I'm sure they were cheap. But digital scopes, they don't really look that good. And you'll see in the video, they have kind of a glare to them. So, this is where we ended up. First group I didn't get pictures of is acceptable, definitely. Second group was even better. I think I was concentrating a little more. Third one, I definitely have one that could have been me, but I won a flyer. Matter of fact, I promise it was me. And then there's the fourth group. So all of them usable shots for sure. And like I said, this is real world stuff. I'm not trying to show off my shooting ability. I'm just shooting the rifle just like I would if I was hunting. Getting on it. The trigger is okay for a semi-auto. It's usable. It's not near as nice as some of my other triggers. And I'm not an airgun snob. I just been in it a while, and so I've accumulated a few expensive airguns. But started out with a Benjamin Marauder and the Air Force Talon. I actually started out with brake barrel stuff first, but as far as my PCP stuff, and still have the Marauder. I'll never part with it. Looks like we're breaking brick. So there we are there. Well, back to my point. The trigger on that rifle is good, but not great. But it's predictable and it's shootable. My FX rifles are definitely a little bit better, but honestly, I've adjusted them a little bit. I don't think my Wildcat is. I think it's still just how it came stock. So I'm not against modding things at all and tuning things at all, but I am likely to shoot it stock first and see how I like it. And if I like it, I never change it. My Wildcat is from stock tune, is sighted in. They sighted in at HPP when I was there in Michigan. I've probably had to do a little bit of tweaking along the way, but I haven't changed anything. I'm shooting that gun total stock. It's a 30 caliber Wildcat with a bottle, the MK3, and it still is my favorite rifle. If one shot matters, and that rifle is, I still like it better than this Mordax, but the Mordax is fun, and it's my newest one, so that's why I'm shooting it. So anyway, okay, got the magazine in. Target's changed. I'm gonna remember to turn the video on, which is just a one press thing there, so it should be recording. And it records voice also, so it's recording my voice. I'm gonna shoot top left target and do 6 shots and see where we end up. Yeah, 6 shots. Regulator pressure is down to looks like 170, so I am definitely going to get, it looks like, one more mag, so we're going to get 3 mags out of this. That's 36 shots, and I think somebody asked me and I told them around 40, so it probably would be off the regulator, but would get 40 shots, but we'll see. We're going to see how this goes here. Start the camera and see if we can find the target down there. I'm all over the place. My feet planted a little better. There's 6 shots. And that brought us down to 140 bar. We'll take a look at the target. So it did get 3 full magazines. Probably the last shot or 2 was off the regular. We'll go take a look at the target. I know, not smart. So one thing I forgot was to set up the chronograph. And that's valuable information also. But what I'll do is I'll just fill it up to the same spot, run, I don't think I gotta do 3 magazines through, but I guess the last one would be the most important to see how much velocity I'm losing once I'm off the regulator. But anyway, I'll run a shot string and we'll see how it's going. For my best memory, it's real close to 70 foot-pounds with these JTS pellets. I think it was like 68 or 69, but real close. Definitely will do the job on a squirrel or a fox or something that size. Raccoons, I'm sure it'll do great with a good shot. So it looks like I'm to the left there, but a very good group. That was a 3rd magazine. And there, a little high with a couple flyers, but you'll see in the video, I wasn't holding steady, and I didn't have a great footing position, and like I said, don't have a great setup in there, but not horrible. A couple flyers there, and that I'm not going to blame the being off the regular for that. I really think that was me. So, but there you go, 3 mags of all usable shots.
So this is one of the compressors that I use. It's a JTS. Erratic setup, 300 bar. It's going just over 300 bar, but I haven't put any first dip or anything. My messy workbench. And let me put that build up. Tour of my shop. That was a pistol kill, airgun kill. Airgun, 25 caliber Maverick. A few more airgun things. Archery. The fox was an airgun kill. And there's a couple of squirrels I canned last week. This is one of my bucks a few years ago with a crossbow. I just recently painted that because you can see in these skulls they get a little bit of mildew on them. That's the green spots. I cleaned it up and painted it. That's it. There's the tour. Shooting out that window. Bighorn I'm messing with. Put a new bottle on that. That's the bottle that was on it. See? And I put a carbon fiber bottle on it. It's going to have a little more volume and hopefully I'll have a nice shot curve. Getting 50 pounds out of this rifle. 50 foot-pounds. And it's a 25 caliber. It's a nice shooting rifle. Anyway, and enjoying a Diet Mountain Dew. Zero. Cheers.
So I've got the chronograph on, and I'm going to run just 1 mag through and see how it does with a slight hesitation. I don't think I can record with my phone because I'm using my phone app to run the FX rangefinder.
But I will turn on the scope, which records video and volume, audio, I should say. And as I'm shooting, you will hear the register from my phone for each shot. So here we go. Okay, if I have everything set up correctly, you can hear me now. And looks like the rangefinder is on. And we're going to run a mag through and see what kind of speeds and power we're making. Okay, that one's at 841, 70 foot-pounds. And my guess is I still have the volume off from when I was hunting. Okay, so now I turn the volume up. The second one you should hear. Okay, I'm not sure how many shots it was. We're going to have an empty shot here eventually. That was the empty one, so my instincts were right. Alright, that's not too bad a shot string. Turn this off. Okay, so I took down some notes and I'll post that on there. But the first shot was fast, and I'm not sure if that was just filled, and then after that the regulator settled or what, but the first one was 70 foot-pounds, so it was 841 foot per second. Then it steadily went down, but just a couple feet per second. My slowest shot was the last one at 822. I want to say a couple foot-pounds, but 822, that's 20 foot per second. So that's the spread. But the bulk of them, the second shot was 833, then 828, 828, 827, 824, 826, 826, 826, 824, 826, and 822. I'm guessing part of it is my recovery time, because I'm shooting one after another, and probably the plenum isn't filling up fast enough, possibly. But all these shots, even one after another, are close enough to, you have to take a follow-up shot on an animal. It's going to be there. It averaged, I don't know the points, but for the most part, 68 foot-pounds of energy. And shooting these 45 grain, 30 caliber pellets, small game hunting, it's going to do the job. You know, I've killed a lot of animals and had great success with 177 stuff. You know, little 10 grain pellets, and you know, and 22 and all that stuff, and brake barrels and multi pumps, and been doing this for a number of years. So, is this overkill? You hear that a lot by airgun guys that want to argue. I mean, it is if you're never going to use a firearm, because it's kind of what all of us here in the U.S. started with, was a 22 long rifle. At 120 foot-pounds of energy. So is a 30 caliber getting 68 foot-pounds overkill? It's a matter of opinion. Do you have to have it to do the job? No. No, you can do it with less energy and a perfect shot. And even I try to make perfect shots with these, but in the real world hunting situations, it doesn't always work that way. You know, you'll pull the trigger, and as you pull the trigger, his head moves and you slip right by him with an absolute clean miss. When sometimes you're not that lucky. Sometimes you make a less than perfect shot and you have to put a second shot in them, or you lose them. They'll get in a hole or a nest, and they're gone. But that stuff happens with a 12-gauge shotgun. And squirrels are tough critters, and you know, we just do our best to make every shot a one-shot kill. And I've got a pretty good ratio, but I'm not going to tell you that I'm perfect and that every single one is a one-shot kill, because I would be lying. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here. I might show you a few of my little hacks that I've done that I think have made a difference for me in the woods, and a couple little tips that I like with maybe the Zulu scope. But as far as the Mordax, this is the fun switch, and I'm going to turn the video on and probably back the power down a little bit. We'll range this target, and it is, which I already know is 38 yards. And here we go, just for the fun of it. So it slipped out of full automatic mode. That's got to be close. Oh, there's still a few there. Slipped out of... I wonder why that's doing that. There we go. I got it all the way in now. I have to oil that switch. That felt like the last one. There's one more, but so we'll put it all the way over. I don't think I had it all the way in full auto, but we're going to run this whole mag through. There it is. Fun switch. I don't know how much fun that was. I like shooting one shot at a time and hit what I'm aiming at. But honestly, I have done a few shot strings in full auto, and it's better than you might think. So in this case, yeah, I think I had a few misses down there, but we'll look at the video and see. So I mentioned that I had to pull the end piece off to make it shorter, and I was going to think about putting some on there just to pad it up a little bit, but honestly it's fine like it is. So that's how I've been shooting it. That's one adjustment I made. That's just to get my length of pull a little bit better for the Zulu scope, which I mentioned I had to mount forward because the top rail on this isn't a full 100% rail. It's got brakes in it. So this is a tip that I got from Joe over at HPP in Michigan. It's a zip tie. That's fancy, huh? And I just clip my my sling on that, and that's what I carry it by. Some of my rifles I have a piece of paracord, and at the time I was doing that, I just I didn't have a paracord there. I did take off the sights, and just so they're not hooking on anything. And one of the other mods I did, I caught this on, I was watching the Hmong Air squirrel hunter or whatever, and I seen he had a zip tie on his front objective. And so normally you got to grab a hold of that and turn it, but now it's kind of like a throw lever. You can get on that in the dark, and it makes it a little bit easier to adjust when you're aiming. So another thing in the dark, a tip you can do is, this is the standby button here. And this is more Zulu's tips than Mordax tips, but I can turn the video on,
and it'll show. I don't know if I can show you in here. Yeah, I can't. But the video is running, and then pause it. So now it's in standby mode. And so when I see a shot opportunity, when I turn that to off standby, my video is running right now. So that's kind of a neat Zulu's tip. It also works with a thermite. So anyway, I hope I didn't bore you too bad. And I don't have a pile of followers. Like I said, I'm not a monetized video creator. I just have fun with this and enjoy air guns, and been playing with these things for a while, and don't consider myself an expert. I'm trying to learn all the time. So if you have any questions, anything you think I can help you with, reach out. You can find me on Facebook. My name's Carl Nephew. I'm not one of them guys that hide my picture, and there's no reason for me to. I'm in America where this stuff's legal. We can shoot air guns at any power. And I'm in Alabama where the hunting laws are very lucrative, and I don't kill even close to my limit. So that being said, I don't have any worries there. But yeah, reach out. If I can help you, I'd be happy to. I'm not an expert, but I've learned a few things along the way, and I enjoy meeting other people with this same crazy obsession. So hope you all have a great day, and enjoy the video, and we'll talk to you again real soon. The Air Rifleman signing out.